I am Sandy Powell, and I am glad you have come to meet me at the round table. This day, we're going to talk about summer safeties, things that have to deal with our children that are a little bit older, that have driving skills and that are out and about for their vacation. I have Cynthia Eddings here with me today.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. And she has an insight or inroad to some information that would be good for some of our teens or young adults that are out for the summer vacation. Right. Safety factors.
Exactly, yes.
Dealing with the law.
Yes.
And so I'm glad you're here to give us some insight because your husband, Michael Eddings, is an attorney.
Yes.
Someone who's in the courts often.
Often, yes.
Defending
yes.
and having to give information or on how these kids can do things a little bit better or protect themselves.
I see it every day. And it breaks my heart because we've seemed to have gotten away from the old-fashioned rules. And back in the days, our role models were the teachers, the cops, the pastor, our next-door neighbors. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And right now, it's like you can't look up to so many now because, you know, it seems like the kids are backing away from that.
They are.
And some of my safety points, because we have 2 teenage boys, I would like to see all of our young kids, teenagers that's driving, mm-hmm. to be careful out there because the cops are out there and it's real. I see a lot of us in jail, and it breaks my heart every day seeing us in jail. So,
but before we get to the jail part, I wanted to address something you said. You said that we used to be able to look up to the pastors, the police officers, the teachers, people of this nature that have dealings with our young people.
Right.
We've gotten away from that, exactly right, and I want to touch a point there.
Okay.
We've gotten away from that for many reasons.
Right.
There's no trust in our community.
Exactly.
The children, or let's say young adults, don't really trust the police officers anymore.
Not at all.
And this is something that I guess I can just have a little conversation about this.
Okay. Of course.
I think that there's been a generalness on the trust with police officers.
Yes.
Not every police officer is someone that we cannot trust.
Right. There's some good ones out here.
They are good ones out there.
There's some good ones out
but we've got to teach our children to protect themselves against those who may not have their best interest at heart.
Right. Now, let me tell you what works for me.
Okay.
With our 2 boys, they're constantly getting stopped because not that they're doing anything wrong. You know, at that age, they want the cool cars, the tinted windows, you know, the sports cars.
The loud music.
Loud music, exactly. Right. And back in the day, that was not bad at all.
Right.
I mean, we used to have music at Carver Park, had our system booming, didn't get in trouble and get stopped at all.
Right.
Now, it seems like not all cops now, the cops will stop them and ask to search the car for whatever reason, and they would get out the car scared to death. But what I've taught my boys, and hopefully this will work with the society now, call your parents.
Call the parents at the time of the stopping?
At the time of the stopping, because that stops the cops. Like, okay, they have good parents that they can call and depend on and just let us speak and see what's going on. Every time our boys get stopped, it could be improper lane change, whatever they come up with to confuse the boys, they call us. They'll call me and Michael. Mom, I just want to let you know, I'm outside the car. The cop stopped me. I said, for what? I don't know. That's what breaks my heart.
Okay.
They never know. And wait, they'll search the car. They'll look at things around the car, and then they'll say, okay, you can go. Never give us a reason why they stop. Hoping to find something. I don't know, but it's not fair. And give me a second. My son got stopped a couple of weeks ago for the same reason I got stopped. I was in a car. We was in a test driving car. Our car was in the shop, so they gave us a loaner car.
Right.
And I was coming out of the grocery store, and the cop just pulled back up because it just said test drive. He said, ma'am, he said, you in a test drive car? I was like, yes. He said, can I see your license? I gave him my license, and I told him, I said, our BMW is being served. We're going to be getting out in a couple of days. He said, okay. He said, let me just run your license, and you can go.
Right.
Ran my license, came back. Okay, you can go.
Everything's good. Okay.
Everything good. My son, same thing. Got stopped. He called me, Mom, what car am I in? What's wrong with the tag? I said, it's just a test drive. Just tell him it's a loaner car. Why'd they stop you? He said, I don't know. So they asked him the same question they asked me. And then Michael got on the phone, look, I'm a lawyer. Why are you stopping my son? Here's the manager's number you can call. They don't want to do it. No, we can't. We can't do it. We need to just take this car because we're not showing any insurance on it. Michael said, well, you need to get in touch with the manager of the car lot. They'll tell you it's a loaner car. They got all the insurance there. They had my son to step out the car, and they searched it or whatever, and then they got back on the phone. He said, Mom, they getting ready to tow the car. We said, why? Michael got back on the phone. Why are you towing my son's car? Well, we can't pull it up in the system.
Can't pull the car up in the system?
The car up in the system because it had a test drive car a tag on it, but it was from the company,
The dealership.
for the dealership.
Right.
We had to get my son home on Uber. He was scared to death. It breaks my heart. My boys are afraid of the cops, and they shouldn't have to be.
Right.
They should be just like we used to. If you're not doing anything wrong, nothing in the car, you got a little music playing, and you're driving, what is improper lane change? Those are some of the examples that I want to talk to the youth about. If they stop you, if you got someone you can call in the family, pick up the phone and call.
Now, let me ask a question, because I know you said that your sons call you and your husband when they get stopped.
Right.
So that means they're reaching for a cell phone.
Yes.
Now,
Good question.
because of some of the incidences, some of the tragic incidences where individuals have been fatally wounded
Right.
or wounded for the thought of maybe reaching for something other than a cell phone.
Right.
How do we safeguard our children in that aspect? I mean, this is just you and me talking
Right.
because we're not experts in it.
Right, right, right.
But just kicking that thought out there, if a child, because you're not supposed to have the phone in your hand anyway.
Exactly.
So if you need to make a phone call, that means you're going to have to reach to do that.
Good question. No. Can I call my parents? I'm reaching for my phone. Because as long as you let the cops know, okay, let me reach in the glove compartment for my license. My boys keep their driver's license, the insurance card, and their birth certificate, all of that in a plastic bag. I keep it in the glove compartment. So anytime they're stopped, they lay it out for the cops, showing that they're who they are, letting the cops know you have nothing to hide.
So you're saying don't just start reaching for your phone and
Ask.
calling people. Ask for that.
Right.
Like before they get to the car, don't do anything.
Don't do anything. No, no, don't reach for anything.
We're going to talk step by step on what you think we should do in the
Gotcha.
incident as to being stopped.
Right.
But what I think I want to go back to talk about is the mistrust with officers and our seem to be youth.
Yes.
Somehow or another, we've got to find this happy medium somewhere. Because like you said, it used to be a very carefree thing to have your music loud
Right.
and just enjoying being young
Right.
and out and about and just, your friends and you were just cruising along and just enjoying a sunny summer day.
Right.
But nowadays we are finding that, and I have to say from both sides, I'm going to be devil advocate on both sides with this thing.
Uh-huh.
But we are finding that our youth are in a lot more trouble these days
Yes.
than what we were.
Yes.
And so now where the police officers used to be able to assume that, they're just out having a good time, having fun. Not so much sometimes these days.
Right.
Sometimes our youth are up to the wrong thing.
I agree. I totally agree.
And so now the thought of missing it on, no, they're not out for a joyride, but they're out actually
Right.
doing, criminal activity.
Right.
The officer has to assume the worst first. Do you think that might be a thought that they might have to assume the worst first
Well-
before they get to kind of narrow it down to just a joyride?
Right. I agree with them having to assume, but be fair and make sure they cross all avenues before they just
Right.
take them in. Just because you got to be careful because, like I said, back in the days, kids used to go up to cops and, hi, shake their
Right.
hands, so happy.
Right.
Mom, guess what? I talked to a policeman. Now our kids, they're running from them.
Right.
They're scared of them. They're afraid of them. The ones that's not in trouble should not be treated like they treat the ones that's in trouble.
Right.
So all I'm saying is, kind of be cautious when you stop and don't be so heavy until you have evidence.
Right.
You find drugs in the car. You see a gun in the car. They ran a red light, or they're trying to get away, or they're speeding. Don't
Right.
just stop because of, I don't even know what improper lane change is no more. That's something that
Is
has
that
not
is
been
that
explained.
oh, really?
Yes, because I mean, I know how when you do improper lane change, but now we're hearing so much of that. The kids, when I say kids, not just our boys, but the adults, they don't even know what the cops are talking about now.
Right.
So I had told my husband, I said, I want them to explain and show us what improper lane change is, because
Right.
it's what we do.
Is it more than just not signaling?
That's
Is it more than that
It
then?
seems like it is, because they always said they signal. What did I do? And then, like I said, when they stop some, they just want to search the car, don't give out a ticket, scare them to death, make them sit on the streets. Then they'll say, okay, now you can leave.
Okay.
That's not fair.
Wow.
That is not fair. And also, I would tell them, if they ask to search your car, you have a right, without no reason, to tell them they cannot search your car.
Right.
They don't have a reason to search your car unless they see drugs or smell weed or
Right.
something.
Right.
But just to, like my son,
Stopping him just because of improper lane change does not now guarantee a automatic car search.
right,
There's no what they call probable cause.
calls or nothing
for-
to even, and we know that by even seeing tickets that just says improper lane change or whatever, but it's no drug, weed, or anything on there. So why did you search the car? I've
Right.
seen kids sit out in the rain just for them to search the car and then let them go without a reasonable cause.
Wow.
So I just want fairness put back into the system with everything,
Right.
and love. And also I want our kids to get back on the right track, do right,
Right.
live right, make
Right.
good decisions, and respect cops.
Right.
Respect the teachers.
And I think that might have something to do with it too, Cynthia, is that there's a lack of respect
Yes.
around across the board, not
Right.
just with cops and,
Exactly.
and youth and young folk, but just period.
I agree. I agree
There's
with
a
you.
lack of respect. People don't really consider the next person,
Right.
and what they may be needing or from
Exactly.
you or whatever. And so that there's no respect, then everybody's on guard.
Right, right.
And then everybody's assuming the worst about the next person.
Right.
But it goes back to Christian values. Everything, can I just say this, Cynthia?
Please. Please say it.
Everything is centered around God,
Oh my God.
around Christ. If we do not have the love of God,
Oh my God.
or we're not Christ-centered, everything is subject to go disarray
Where
and
did
go
that,
crazy.
Where did that go?
Okay, we can talk
Oh.
about that. That's another show.
It brings tears to my eyes. It's not in the systems like it used to be. I mean,
Right.
just general, it's just not there anymore.
Right. The police officers are a part of our community. These are the people that we're supposed to go to church with.
Exactly.
These are the people that we're supposed to worship with in church.
Right.
But with God not the center of everyone's life,
Right.
or God, because we used to be a nation.
Right.
Come
exactly.
on, can I say? We
Please.
used to be a nation
Right.
that God was center.
Right.
It used to be an embarrassment. Remember that
Oh,
used
yeah.
to be when you didn't go to church?
Okay.
If the family didn't go to church, they were the
Okay.
family like, oh, they don't go to church. You know, it used to be an embarrassment in the
bad thing.
community.
Yes.
But nowadays, it's not. It's not. It's the norm.
Right,
And
right.
so now we have people who have no God,
Right.
no conscience,
Right.
no morals,
Right.
no integrity,
Right.
and we expect them to do right.
Right. I know. That's sad. It breaks my heart.
But this is what the world we're living in, and I'm not saying this is every cop by no
Oh,
means.
no.
I have
No.
some
Oh,
police
no.
officers that
Yeah.
I know are just fabulous.
Right,
They
right.
are wonderful, and
Right.
but just like police officers, like
Right.
teachers,
Yes.
like pastors, like
Yes.
attorneys, like
Right.
every other profession or every other professional career.
Career, right.
You have people who do it wrong.
Exactly. Exactly. And that's what scares me.
And the police officers that are doing it wrong have given a bad name to
Mm-hmm. Yes.
the ones who are doing it well. So that's why I
Exactly.
always want to sit on both sides of this fence. I don't
Right.
want to make it seem as though we're saying all officers. By no means.
Right,
No,
right.
not all officers. Just
Right,
like
right.
it ain't all pastors. It ain't all.
Right,
You know,
right.
we have some good pastors in
Right,
the
of
city.
course, of
You know,
course, yes.
but then we know we have some people who don't walk the standard of
Right.
as to which God has given us to do it,
Right.
and then we just digress. So
Right.
in this sense, with the police officers, the beginning of vacation,
Mm-hmm.
we have our young people that are going to be out and about because they're not going to stop living.
I know. I know.
School
And
is
they
out,
shouldn't.
and they shouldn't
They
have to.
shouldn't.
So let's talk a little bit about how, you know, how to safeguard,
Right.
you
Okay.
know, and from a professional place here, as an attorney, you're in
Right.
court
Yes.
with your husband,
Right.
who's the attorney, and are you also, do you have a,
I'm
you're a
paralegal. I
paralegal?
work with him.
That's enough. You know
Yes,
paralegals do all the work.
Yes, yes. We do.
You do.
I have his, that's my heart.
That's right.
And I just love working with him because it's more of a spiritual bond that we have. I don't look at myself as an employee with him. I don't look at it as a paralegal or secretary. I'm his wife that's
Right.
with him to support him and there
Right.
for him.
Hey.
And we here to help people.
All right, then.
And it just hurts me. And back to what you're saying about the summer, I would like to see not just teenagers, youth, or whatever, just people in general, just live right. If you're gonna go somewhere, you judge who you hang with. I
Right.
see a lot of people being with the wrong crowd and getting in more trouble than the person that actually did the crime.
Right. Exactly.
You gotta judge who you with.
Right.
You know,
And you know, young people don't think about
They
that.
don't.
They only think about, I just wanna hang with my dude. I just
Right.
wanna hang with this chick.
Right.
You know, they don't think about the consequences
Exactly.
of the other person's actions.
Exactly.
That may cost them a
a
lifetime.
lifetime. I've seen that.
I
I've
know,
seen
I
innocent
know.
people get put away for
Right.
life because they made the wrong decision. They was with the
Right.
wrong person.
Right.
So, and being from Columbus, hearing all the crimes that we have here now.
Right.
Oh, I pray all the time for the youth here. Just stay out of trouble.
Right.
Make good decisions. If you're gonna drive and a cop stop you, respect that officer.
Right.
Just stop.
It's not
And-
taking anything, and this is what I think, the new movement of the cell phone. I got mine right here. You know, we think we can videotape and this is going to solve everything. This is
Right.
not going to solve
No,
everything.
no.
What we need to do is also teach our children that when you're in the right, see, it takes nothing from me,
Exactly.
you know,
Exactly.
to adhere to show you my license. Okay, here's my license.
That's my point.
You know, if
Right.
it's going to cost me my life,
Exactly.
or it's going to cost someone in my car their life,
Right.
this might not be the stand I want to take.
Right.
Let me take another stand.
Exactly.
You know, get my ticket and let's go to court.
Thank you.
Let me have my say in court.
Right.
And although I do know we stand before sometimes unrighteous judges.
Right.
But it's documented now.
Exactly.
And things can be
Exactly.
documented as well to also cause change.
Right.
What I don't want to see our children is become rebels to the point that life is lost senseless.
Right.
And
Right.
that sometimes is what we're seeing. Kids are, because I'm on Facebook sometimes.
Right. Well.
Yeah, and sometimes I see the little posts that they do when you know they call themselves recording improper behavior by a
Right.
police officer or something.
Right.
But to me, sometimes they're putting themselves in danger,
Exactly.
in harm's way,
Exactly.
with not only their body movement but their language.
Exactly.
It's insightful.
Good point. Exactly.
And you can't really do that.
Right.
I just wouldn't caution my children to do that.
Exactly.
Don't be insightful.
Right.
You know, don't call names, don't cuss
Right.
folk out.
You're right.
You know, because it begets what it begets. And if you stand before an unrighteous cop,
Right.
you're expecting him to do what? Come from where?
Right there. You're great point. You're absolutely right. That's why I said you're right. If you're in the right, respect that cop. You have no reason to run from him. No reason to be feared from him,
Right.
and ask him if you can reach for your phone and call a family member if the cop is not letting you speak or
Right.
trying to take you in or whatever.
Right.
Because they should respect that you have a parent or someone you want to call.
Now, let's say he doesn't allow you to make that phone call. How would you recommend a youth to handle that situation?
If he doesn't, then still obey the cop because he's got the right hand. You got to respect him, listen to him. Whatever he say, do it. You do get a chance to make a phone call at some point. And
Right.
like you said, do whatever he says, come out on top,
Right.
fight it in court.
Right.
But don't go off on the cop. Don't
Right.
get smart with him.
Right.
Don't reach
Don't
for
raise
anything.
up.
Don't raise,
I
oh,
know
no.
my rights.
'Cause they're shooting now.
They,
Yeah, just they
and
shooting.
if, especially if you're
Reaching.
there and there's no one to validate
Exactly.
what you're saying.
Exactly.
Your rights don't mean anything in the mind of a person who
No.
doesn't care about your rights,
No.
and there's nobody to witness it.
Exactly.
And so
Exactly.
be smart.
Smart.
And get home.
Exactly. Get home first and then talk it over with a parent or,
Right.
you know, a pastor or minister or attorney or whoever,
Right.
and let us help fight your battle or your parents, but don't put it in the cop's hand.
Right.
Because it causes a lot of problems, and
Right.
then you get in trouble and get fined for obstructing the officer, and you don't want to do that because you still want to respect them.
Right.
And
In the case where, let's say, they stop a person, a young person, they are just out having a good time or whatever, and they do a minor infraction, traffic infraction. Let's say somebody in the car ain't clean.
okay, we see that. We see a lot of that.
Okay, that's what I want to get to. The driver's clean, and two of the other passengers are clean, and then we got Dirty Johnny in the car that's got something. He's carrying something, be it weapon, be it drug, something he's carrying.
Okay.
And let's say the officer suspects that in the traffic stop. He doesn't have any visible evidence, but he does ask to search the car, and in that asking, the driver says yes. Is Dirty Johnny in trouble?
So he finds like a gun or something under the seat or something? Or
On
just-
Johnny.
On Johnny? No, the driver's not in trouble. It would be Johnny
Johnny's in trouble.
because it's the weapon's on him.
Or the drug.
Or drugs, it's on him. But if it's not on him and it's under the seat or in the trunk.
And you know that's
and
what
it's-
they do.
and it's-
They start tucking
That's why I
stuff.
said be careful who you hang with, because if they throw it somewhere, guess what? The innocent driver without a record, he goes to jail
Wow.
because it's in his car. That's why I was telling you early, be careful who you hang with.
But can that be a charge that can be fought?
It can be fought.
Okay.
But right now, he's going to jail
And he's got a
because
record.
this stuff is in his, yes, because it's in his car. And Dirty Johnny threw it under the seat. And of course, Dirty Johnny is not going to say it's his because he don't want to
He
go
don't want
in.
to go to jail.
No.
He's already got.
Already, right.
Yeah.
But then they are going to run checks on all of them in the car.
Are they?
Oh, yeah. All of
Everybody
them.
gets ran.
Everybody gets ran.
Even though you're not the one who caused an infraction.
Yeah. Because if he suspects something, see, the cops can do whatever they want to do. They can run everybody's license in the car. Finding weed and a gun.
Okay, let's say you get stopped for improper lane change.
Okay. That's a common one.
Let's say they get stopped for improper lane change.
Mm-hmm.
Does everybody's license get run then?
No, the one
as
that's
well?
driving.
Only the one that's driving.
The one that's driving.
So only if the officer suspects something other than improper lane change,
Right,
can
because
he
the-
now ask everybody in the car, I need to see your
License.
ID.
Exactly. Because, see, the reckless driving or the improper lane change is the one that's driving the car.
I got that.
But if he stopped because whatever and he smells something or he suspects something,
Yeah.
They
I don't
say-
know why they don't think that the cops have a nose to smell.
that's, you know what?
You know, that stuff stinks to high
my
heavens.
I'm telling you, at least 10 cases a week we deal with that.
The smell.
The smell, improper lane change, dirty Johnnies, innocent driver, all of that. But see, what it's going to take is for a dirty Johnny, when he goes to court, to say, you know, it was mine.
It was mine. But if he doesn't own it, does the driver take the charge?
Well, he's got to prove it in court.
He's got to
Gotta
prove that it
whose
wasn't mine.
is. Yes, that's why you got to be careful who you hang with and who gets in your car. Back to my boys again, because they're at that age.
Right.
We tell them all the time, watch who gets in your car, check it, don't have anything in your car. Do not.
Now, I know
Because-
they want to make it seem as though, and I'll just say this, it's just common,
Mm-hmm.
that black boys are drug dealers, all of them, not all of them, but that
No,
they're,
all of 'em.
They're common.
And
It's
it's
common.
common.
Let's say it's common with them.
Yes.
But I know,
Mm-hmm.
because I was raised in a mixed community.
Right.
And, you know, I don't have a squeaky clean background.
Right.
Okay.
I understand.
Okay, so,
I follow you. Yeah.
I'm like Clinton. I've experimented.
Exactly.
Is that good enough? Okay.
Hey,
But most of what we experimented with didn't come from people that look like me.
there you go. That's my point.
But, I mean, and they were known for it, to have it always.
Right.
They always had it. I don't
Right.
care when you walk up on them.
Right.
They always, yeah, I got it. I'm good.
Flamboyant with it.
And
Yeah.
yes, they didn't have to hide it. They were very, wide open with it.
Right.
And, but for some reason, and this is just in just, I think, media.
Right.
Media has kind of put a stigma on our black youth, and then our black youth aren't helping it
Not at all.
at all. Do you see some of the Facebook pages with the money and the,
Yes,
and the stuff?
that's a lot of this they bring on
Feeding
themselves.
this
Yes. And-
untruth
right.
that all black kids are.
Right. This Instagram bragging and stuff that's really not theirs, but they showing it on camera or Instagram or whatever. So a lot of this they bring on themselves. And when you said earlier, it's not all cops, but that one cop or a lot of cops, not in Columbus, all over the place, is not giving the good one names, but it's making you raise a flag.
For everybody
For
else.
everybody.
So you would
So-
say for this summer to safeguard our children, we first of all need to be in compliance with the law.
Yes.
If for any reason you are stopped, to maintain your composure and your integrity.
Yes.
Do not act a monkey.
Not at all.
Okay, you have no reason to.
No.
And then comply with what the officer is saying.
Yes.
Ask, can you speak to your
Make a
parent
call.
if you're young, underage? Can you make a call? Or if you're an adult, that can make a call to someone that could also be a witness to what's happening.
Right.
That as well.
Right.
And most of all is get home. Be
Exactly.
safe, because we can always fight it in court.
Exactly.
Don't fight it in the street.
That's not the place to do it.
That's not the place to
That's
do it.
not the place to do
Well,
it.
y'all heard it from Cynthia Eddings. She has come. This is just a little bit of what we're doing just for the summer to prepare our kids for their wonderful vacation time and to safeguard against what's actually happening in the street. Now, we could talk about the beach, but the beach takes care of itself.
Exactly.
The streets, though, however, there's something else going on there. And so we need to know how to survive there as well. So we'll be looking forward to everyone here joining us here next week at the round table. Be safe, kids. Be of good courage.
Yes.
We'll meet you next time.
Community for all people and work together for justice and peace in our world. Recognizing that our spiritual journeys are all different, we strive to be respectful and inclusive concerning each individual's relationship with God. We believe that Christianity is a lifestyle, and we're committed to teaching, learning, and living the Word of God. It's more than a song, more than a shout, more than a dance. Whether you're a committed follower of Christ or just curious about God, you are invited to visit with us. Give us a call or check out our website for more information or to see our sermon times.